In a world plunged into darkness, where hope is a forgotten memory and fear reigns supreme, a nation cries out from the shadows of oppression. For 20 long years they have suffered under the iron fist of a ruthless king and his dreaded commander, Sisera, whose 900 iron chariots thunder across the land, crushing all who dare to stand against them. The people are scattered, their spirits broken, their prayers seemingly unanswered. But in the heart of the storm, a flame is about to be kindled. A voice will rise from the silence. A leader will emerge from the most unlikely of places, chosen not for her strength in battle, but for her wisdom and faith. This is the story of a judge, a prophetess, a warrior. This is the story of Deborah. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we re-diving into one of the most powerful and inspiring stories from the ancient world, a tale of courage, faith, and a leader who shattered every expectation. This is the story of Deborah from the book of Judges. Our story begins in a time of great turmoil for the people of Israel. After years of peace, they had turned away from their traditions, and as the story goes, found themselves under the thumb of King Jabin of Canaan. For 2 decades, the Israelites endured harsh oppression. King Jabin's army was commanded by a fearsome general named Sisera. Imagine the terror 900 iron chariots. In that era, this was the equivalent of a fleet of tanks. They were an unstoppable force, a symbol of absolute power and dominance. The Israelites were helpless, hiding in the mountains, their roads unsafe to travel, their lives filled with constant fear. They had lost everything, and it seemed like there was no way out. But even in the darkest of times, a single light can make all the difference. And that light was a woman named Deborah. Now, Deborah wasn't a queen or a noble. She was a prophetess, a woman known for her incredible wisdom and her deep connection to God. People from all over Israel would travel to see her. She would sit under a palm tree known as the Palm of Deborah, and there she would settle disputes, offer guidance, and speak words of wisdom. She was a beacon of justice and hope in a land that had very little of either. One day, Deborah received a divine message. It was a call to action, a plan to free her people from bondage. She summoned a man named Barak, a respected military leader from the tribe of Naphtali. When Barak arrived, Deborah looked him in the eye and delivered the message with unshakable confidence. "The Lord, the God of Israel, commands you. Go take with you 10,000 men of Naphtali and Zebulun and lead them to Mount Tabor. I will lure Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his troops to the Kishon River, and give him into your hands." Now, you might think Barak would jump at this chance, a divine promise of victory, but Barak hesitated. He looked at Deborah and saw the immense danger. 10,000 foot soldiers against 900 iron chariots. It was a suicide mission. The fear was real, so he replied, "If you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go." It's a fascinating moment. Barak wasn't questioning the message. He was seeking the presence of the one who delivered it. He needed Deborah's faith, her connection to the divine, to be right there with him on the battlefield. He needed her presence as a tangible sign of God's support. Deborah agreed, but with a condition that would change the course of history. She said, "Certainly I will go with you, but because of the course you're taking, the honor will not be yours, for the Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman." At the time, Barak probably thought she meant herself, but destiny had another twist in store. So Barak gathered his 10,000 men from the tribes of Zebulun and Naphtali, and with Deborah by his side, they marched to Mount Tabor. As they assembled on the mountain, word reached Sisera. Confident in his overwhelming military advantage, Sisera mobilized his entire force, all 900 iron chariots, and his vast army, and advanced to the Kishon River, right into the valley below Mount Tabor. He was ready to crush this rebellion once and for all. From their high vantage point on the mountain, Barak and his men could see the terrifying sight below. The valley floor gleamed with iron, a seemingly impenetrable wall of military might. This was the moment of truth. All eyes turned to Deborah. Then, with the fire of a true leader, Deborah rose and declared, "Go." This is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands. Has not the Lord gone ahead of you?" Her words were like a trumpet blast, filled with absolute certainty. This was it. The time for waiting was over. Empowered by her faith, Barak led his 10,000 men charging down the mountainside, straight towards the chariots. What happened next was nothing short of miraculous. The ancient text describes a scene of total chaos for Sisera's army. A sudden torrential storm broke out. The heavens opened up, and the Kishon River, normally a gentle stream, swelled into a raging flood. The valley floor turned into a sea of mud. Those mighty iron chariots, Sisera's pride and joy, became his downfall. They were stuck. The wheels sank deep into the mire, rendering them useless. The horses panicked. The soldiers were thrown into confusion. The unstoppable army was completely immobilized. Barak's forces, fighting on foot, had the advantage on the muddy, treacherous ground. They swept through the Canaanite army, and Sisera's entire force was wiped out. In the midst of the chaos, Sisera himself abandoned his chariot and fled the battlefield on foot. He ran for his life, desperate to escape. He sought refuge in the tent of a woman named Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. The Kenites were allies of King Jabin, so Sisera thought he would be safe there. Jael welcomed him into her tent. She gave him milk to drink when he asked for water, and covered him with a blanket as he laid down exhausted to hide. Sisera, feeling secure, instructed her to stand at the entrance of the tent and turn away anyone who might be looking for him. Then he fell into a deep sleep. But Jael was not his ally. While the commander of the fearsome army slept, she took a tent peg and a hammer. With quiet determination and incredible courage, she approached the sleeping general and drove the peg through his temple, ending his life and his reign of terror. Shortly after, Barak arrived, still in pursuit of Sisera. Jael met him at the door of her tent and said, "Come, I will show you the man you're looking for." She led him inside, and there he saw Sisera, defeated not on the battlefield by a soldier, but in a tent by the hand of a woman. Deborah's prophecy had come true in the most unexpected way. The honor for the final victory went to Jael. The defeat of Sisera and his army was a decisive turning point. King Jabin's power was broken, and over time the Israelites completely overcame him. The land finally had peace, and that peace lasted for 40 years. So what can we take away from this incredible story? First, there's the theme of leadership. Deborah shows us that true leadership doesn't come from a title or gender or military might. It comes from wisdom, courage, and unwavering faith. She led not with a sword, but with a spirit that inspired a nation. She reminds us that a leader can be anyone who is willing to listen to a higher calling and act on it with conviction. Second, the story highlights the power of courage in the face of impossible odds. Think about Barak, who, despite his fear, stepped up to lead. Think about Jael, who, with no army at her back, took matters into her own hands to protect her people. Their actions teach us that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting in spite of it. And finally, it's a story about unexpected heroes. The victory didn't go to the strongest general or the most powerful army. It went to two women, Deborah and Jael, who defied the expectations of their time. It's a powerful reminder that heroes can emerge from anywhere, and that sometimes the greatest strength is found where we least expect it. The story of Deborah is more than just an ancient war story. It's a timeless testament to the idea that with faith, courage, and bold leadership, even the most overwhelming darkness can be overcome by a single, determined light. Thank you so much for joining me today to explore this amazing story. I hope it inspired you as much as it inspires me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next journey into the great stories of the past. Let me know in the comments what you found most powerful about Deborah's story. Until next time, stay curious and inspired.